Here's a truth most men don't realize until it's far too late. A woman will always reveal who she truly is, not with her actions at first, but with her words. The problem? Most men don't listen. They ignore the signs, brush off the comments, or convince themselves she didn't really mean it. But a Stoic man, he pays attention. He knows that words are windows into character, values, and hidden intentions. If she says the wrong thing, it's not a joke and it's not an accident. It's a red flag. And if you choose to ignore it, the cost is heavy. Your peace, your dignity, your self-respect, even years of your life. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you deserve to live your life without fear or deceit. That wisdom applies here more than ever. In this video, I'll share 12 things a woman can say that should make you walk away immediately. Not after the second chance, not after the apology, immediately. Because the man who listens to these warnings protects his freedom. The man who ignores them, he loses everything. Stay with me until the end, because once you know these phrases, you'll never look at relationships the same way again, and you'll finally understand the power of silence, boundaries, and walking away like a Stoic. So before we dive in, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll never miss out on the Stoic insights that can protect your mind, your peace, and your future. Now let's get started.
Number 1. You're overreacting. When a woman says you're overreacting, it may sound harmless at first, but pause for a second. What she's really doing is dismissing your emotions, invalidating your perspective, and indirectly telling you that your feelings don't matter. Now, here's the Stoic truth. Emotions themselves are not weakness. What matters is how you respond to them. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Stoicism teaches us to master our reactions, not to deny that we have them. So when you calmly express a boundary, a concern, or even discomfort, that's not overreacting. That's clarity. That's honesty. That's strength. The moment someone belittles you with that phrase, it's a red flag. It shows she would rather silence you than understand you. She would rather win the argument than build the relationship. And that reveals something critical. Respect is missing. Without respect, no connection survives. A Stoic man doesn't beg to be heard. He doesn't defend his right to feel. He simply recognizes when a person is showing disregard, and he walks away with dignity intact. Think about it. If she truly valued you, she would lean in to understand your perspective. She would listen with patience, even if she disagreed. But if every time you speak your truth, you're labeled as overreacting, what she's really saying is, your voice has no weight here. And let me be clear, a man who accepts that will slowly lose himself. He'll shrink. He'll doubt his own instincts. He'll begin to question his reality. That's not strength, that's slavery. So, the lesson here is simple. When someone consistently dismisses your voice, leave. Your peace matters. Your truth matters. And as a Stoic, you must never trade self-respect for temporary comfort. Number 2. You need to change who you are. Few words cut deeper than this. You need to change who you are. On the surface, it might sound like advice, but in reality, it's a rejection of your very essence. She's not talking about habits or behaviors you can improve. She's talking about your core, your personality, your values, your identity. And here's the truth. A Stoic man understands the difference between growth and erasure. Growth is when you sharpen your discipline, improve your self-control, and evolve into the best version of yourself. Erasure is when someone demands you abandon your principles, silence your nature, and mold yourself into whatever pleases them. That's not love. That's control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Notice he didn't say, "Become what others demand." Why? Because the minute you start reshaping yourself to fit someone else's approval, you lose your foundation. You become a shadow chasing validation instead of living with purpose. So, if a woman truly values you, she won't try to reprogram you. She'll encourage your strengths, challenge you to refine your weaknesses, and grow alongside you, not against you. But when she says you need to change who you are, she's telling you one simple fact. She doesn't accept the man standing in front of her. And here's the Stoic move. Walk away. Not with anger, not with resentment, simply with the knowledge that a man who compromises his core for acceptance will never know peace. Because the woman who truly respects you won't try to change your identity. She'll inspire you to become more of yourself. Before we move on to the next red flag, take a second to like this video if it resonates with you, and drop a comment below. What's one value you'll never compromise on in a relationship? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Number 3. You'll never do better than me. If you ever hear the words, "You'll never do better than me," understand this. You're not dealing with confidence. You're dealing with manipulation. This phrase isn't love. It's fear disguised as arrogance. It's a power play designed to make you doubt yourself, to make you feel like she's the peak of what you can achieve, and that without her, you're nothing. But let's pause here. A Stoic man knows his worth does not depend on someone else's opinion. As Seneca wisely said, "A man who is always afraid to lose has already lost." And isn't that exactly what this phrase is? A threat? A way of keeping you afraid, so you'll hold on tighter even when the relationship has already poisoned your peace? When someone says this to you, they're revealing two truths. First, they don't truly value you, because if they did, they wouldn't need to belittle you. Second, they're terrified you can and will find better, which is why they're trying so hard to convince you otherwise. The reality is simple. If she were truly the best you could ever have, she wouldn't need to remind you. Respect, love, and value never come from threats. They flow naturally when both people are whole and secure. The Stoic response isn't to argue or to prove her wrong. It's to recognize the manipulation and quietly step away. Because a man who knows his own value doesn't need to cling. He walks with certainty, knowing that his life, his discipline, and his future are not dependent on anyone else's validation. So remember, the moment she says, "You'll never do better than me," she's already told you the truth. You already are better because you have the courage to leave. Number 4, I don't respect men who insert what defines you. When she says, "I don't respect men who," and then finishes that sentence with something that describes you, your values, your lifestyle, your beliefs, pay attention. This isn't just a difference of opinion. This is her openly telling you she doesn't respect who you are at your core. Respect is the foundation of every relationship. Without it, love turns into control, and companionship becomes constant criticism. Stoicism teaches us that you cannot build peace in a place where respect is absent. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, not everyone will agree with your way of life, and that's perfectly fine. But the moment someone says they can't respect you for it, they're telling you the relationship has no solid ground. Here's the thing. Respect can't be negotiated. You can't beg for it, argue for it, or force someone to give it. If she doesn't see your worth, nothing you say will change that. A Stoic man understands this truth and walks away because he knows his value does not shrink just because someone refuses to see it. The right woman doesn't demand that you betray yourself for her approval. She admires your discipline, your convictions, and your backbone. She might challenge you, but she'll never try to erase you. So, if she ever says, "I don't respect men who," and points at your very essence, don't argue, don't defend. Simply recognize the truth. She's not for you. And remember, respect isn't optional in a relationship. It's the very thing that keeps love alive. Before we continue to the next red flag, take a second to like this video if this resonates with you, and comment below. What's one non-negotiable trait you expect a partner to respect in you?
Number 5. You owe me. The moment she says, "You owe me," understand this clearly. Love has just been replaced with debt. And when love becomes a transaction, it's no longer love, it's control. A healthy relationship is built on choice. You give because you want to, not because you're forced to. You show up because you choose to, not because you're paying off some invisible debt. The moment someone tells you, "You owe me," they've stripped away freedom and replaced it with obligation. From a Stoic perspective, that's dangerous. Epictetus taught that true freedom lies in choosing your actions, not being bound by someone else's demands. If you act out of fear, guilt, or manipulation, you're no longer living as a free man. You're living as a prisoner. Let's be clear. Appreciation is natural. Gratitude is beautiful. But obligation kills both. A woman who values you doesn't remind you of what she's done for you. She doesn't keep score like it's a business ledger. Instead, she gives freely, and because of that, you naturally give back. But when she says, "You owe me," she's revealing a mindset. She sees your presence as a debt to be collected, not a bond to be cherished. And that is not a foundation you can build on. A Stoic man doesn't argue over the bill of emotional debts. He simply recognizes when someone is trying to chain him, and he steps away, because love without freedom isn't love at all. It's control wearing a mask. So remember this. The right woman will never say you owe her. She'll never reduce your relationship to a transaction. She'll value you, respect you, and walk beside you, not hold your peace hostage. Number 6. If you really loved me, you would. This phrase may look innocent, but it's one of the most dangerous lines a woman can ever say to you. If you really loved me, you would fill in the blank. Spend more money. Change your friends. Abandon your goals. Compromise your values. Whatever it is, the message is always the same. Your love must be proven through obedience. That's not love. That's manipulation. True love doesn't require you to bend your principles just to keep someone happy. A Stoic man understands that love is a free choice, not a negotiation tool. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." In other words, never let someone's manipulative tactics turn you into something you are not. When she says this phrase, she's teaching you that your love must be constantly tested, constantly proven, and constantly earned. But here's the truth. Real love doesn't demand constant proof. It simply exists, shown through mutual respect, trust, and consistency. The danger of this phrase is subtle. At first, you give in because you don't want to lose her. You think, if I just do this one thing, it'll be fine. But soon, one thing becomes 10. Before long, you're sacrificing your boundaries, your freedom, and your peace, all in the name of love. And by the time you realize it, you've lost yourself. A Stoic man never bargains with his identity. He loves freely, but he never allows love to be used as a chain. If she needs to manipulate you to feel secure, she's not ready for a real relationship. So the next time you hear, if you really loved me, you would, recognize it for what it is, a test you were never meant to pass. Walk away, because true love doesn't come with conditions, only respect. If you agree, take a moment to like this video and drop a comment. Do you believe love should ever come with conditions? Let's move to the next red flag. Number 7. Other men would treat me better. If she ever looks at you and says, other men would treat me better, understand this. She's not just comparing you, she's disrespecting you. And when respect is gone, the relationship is already crumbling. At its core, this phrase is designed to make you feel small, insecure, and replaceable. It's a dagger meant to cut at your confidence, to make you compete for her approval instead of standing firm in your worth. But here's what a Stoic man knows. Self-worth isn't measured against other men. It's measured against your own character and principles. Seneca once wrote, "He who is brave is free." And in this situation, bravery means refusing to be trapped in a relationship where you're constantly being compared. The man who stays after hearing this phrase isn't free. He's chained to insecurity, always trying to prove himself against invisible rivals. Think about it. If she truly believed other men were better, why is she still with you? The answer is simple. She wants leverage, not love. She wants to keep you off balance, questioning yourself, and working harder to win her approval. That's not partnership, that's control. A Stoic man doesn't take the bait. He doesn't argue, compete, or defend. He simply recognizes that anyone who values him will never need to compare him. And instead of lowering himself to prove her wrong, he walks away with dignity. Because here's the truth. The right woman doesn't look at you and say, others would treat me better. She looks at you and says, I'm grateful it's you. That's the difference between manipulation and respect. So if you ever hear this phrase, don't waste your breath proving your value. You already know it. And the moment you choose to leave, you prove it to yourself. If you've ever had someone compare you unfairly, hit like on this video and comment below. Did you stay or did you walk away? Number 8. I don't need a man. Now, let's be clear. Independence is a strength. A woman being capable, self-reliant, and driven is admirable. But when she says, I don't need a man, not as a statement of independence, but as a declaration of contempt, the meaning changes entirely. It's no longer about strength, it's about dismissal. What she's really saying is, men have no value to me. And if she believes that, then she cannot truly value you. A Stoic man knows that relationships are not about dependency, they're about complementing each other. Just like Marcus Aurelius wrote, we were born for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids. In other words, we are designed to work together, not to stand in constant opposition. A woman who carries this mindset doesn't see partnership as harmony, but as competition. She may secretly resent needing anyone, including you, and that resentment will eventually spill into every interaction. Over time, you'll find yourself defending your worth, proving your relevance, and trying to carve out space in her world where you're never truly welcomed. But here's the Stoic truth. Your value does not depend on her recognition of it. The right woman won't deny your importance. She'll honor it, just as you honor hers. She'll know that being with a man doesn't make her weaker, it makes both of you stronger.
When she says, "I don't need a man," take it as a warning. Not because she's strong, but because she's closing her heart to connection, and you cannot build love on rejection. A Stoic man doesn't argue or try to convince her otherwise. He simply steps back, knowing that a relationship without mutual respect and openness is a battle already lost. Remember this: independence is beautiful, but contempt is poison. If she despises what you are, don't stay and fight for her acceptance. Walk away and give your time to someone who values not just your presence, but your essence. If you've ever heard this phrase before, hit like on this video and share in the comments. Do you believe independence and respect can coexist in a relationship?
Number 9. You're lucky I'm with you. When a woman says, "You're lucky I'm with you," it might sound playful on the surface, but pay attention. Tone doesn't erase meaning. Behind those words is a mindset. She believes she is above you, that she's doing you a favor by being in your life. And when someone believes that, true partnership can't exist. Here's the Stoic truth. Gratitude in a relationship should always flow both ways. A healthy connection is built on mutual respect and appreciation, not hierarchy. Marcus Aurelius said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive." Apply that here. It's a privilege to share life with someone, not a burden. If she sees herself as a prize you're lucky to have, but doesn't feel equally fortunate, then the balance is broken. This phrase often becomes a weapon. She'll use it to lower your self-esteem, to remind you that she thinks you're replaceable, and to keep you chasing her validation. But a Stoic man doesn't chase. He doesn't beg to be seen. He knows that his worth exists with or without anyone's acknowledgement. Think about it. If someone constantly tells you that you're lucky to have them, what they're really saying is, "You don't deserve me." And if they believe that, they'll never fully respect you. The right woman won't make you feel small to lift herself up. She won't keep you insecure to keep you close. Instead, she'll remind you how much she values you, just as you value her. That's balance. That's respect. So when you hear, "You're lucky I'm with you," take it as a red flag. Don't argue, don't defend yourself. Just remember, the relationship you deserve is one where both people feel fortunate, not one where you're made to feel indebted. If you agree, tap the like button and tell me in the comments, do you think relationships should ever feel like someone's doing you a favor, or should it always be mutual respect? Number 10, I'll leave if you don't. When a woman says, "I'll leave if you don't," understand this clearly. She's not making a request, she's issuing a threat. And threats are not the language of love, they're the language of control. This phrase is a classic manipulation tactic. It's meant to put you in a corner, force your hand, and make you sacrifice your peace just to keep her around. But here's what a Stoic man knows. Anyone who truly loves you will never weaponize abandonment to get their way. Real connection is built on understanding, compromise, and respect, not ultimatums. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Now think about this phrase through that lens. Is it right for her to use threats to bend your will? Is it true love if it depends on you obeying conditions? Of course not. The danger is this: the first time she says it, you may give in just to avoid conflict. But each time you surrender, she learns the power of this tactic. Over time, your relationship becomes a cycle of silent fear. You live in constant worry that any wrong move will trigger another threat. That isn't love. That's emotional blackmail. A Stoic man doesn't live under threats. He values freedom above fear, dignity above desperation. If she wants to leave, the answer is simple: let her go. Because a woman who stays only because you bend is not truly with you. She's with the version of you she can control. Remember this: love that's held together by fear of losing it isn't love at all. It's a cage. And a Stoic man was never meant to live caged.
If you've ever faced ultimatums like this, hit like on this video and share your thoughts in the comments. Do threats ever belong in a healthy relationship?
Number 11. You're just like my ex. When a woman says, "You're just like my ex," take note, because this isn't just about her past, it's about your future. What she's really telling you is that she hasn't healed, she hasn't moved on, and she's already placing you inside a story that doesn't belong to you. Here's the problem. Comparison is the death of connection. The moment she drags her ex into the conversation, she's no longer seeing you for who you are. Instead, she's filtering everything through unresolved pain, bitterness, or distrust. And a Stoic man understands this simple truth. You cannot build peace on top of someone else's wounds. Epictetus taught, people are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. In this case, she isn't disturbed by you, she's disturbed by the lens she refuses to put down. But if she insists on seeing you as her ex, it won't matter how disciplined, loyal, or patient you are. You'll always be fighting a ghost. Think about it. Do you really want to spend your days proving you're not like him? Do you want to live under suspicion for crimes you never committed? That's not love, that's punishment. A woman who truly respects you won't compare you to her past. She'll appreciate the differences, honor the present, and walk forward with you, not backward. But when she says, "You're just like my ex," she's telling you loud and clear, she's still trapped in the past and she's pulling you in with her. A Stoic man knows better. He doesn't waste energy fighting comparisons. He simply recognizes the truth. If she can't see him for who he is, then she doesn't deserve to walk beside him. So remember, you're not here to relive someone else's history. You're here to write your own. And if she can't let go of her ex, the strongest move you can make is to let go of her. If you've ever been unfairly compared to someone's past, like this video and comment below. Did you stay and prove yourself, or did you walk away with your dignity? Number 12. I deserve better than you. This one is the clearest sign of all. When a woman looks you in the eye and says, "I deserve better than you," she's not just questioning the relationship, she's questioning your worth. And once those words are spoken, you have all the information you need. A healthy relationship is built on mutual admiration. Two people look at each other and say, "I choose you, and I'm grateful for you." But when she says she deserves better, she's placing herself above you, turning the relationship into a hierarchy where you're always trying to catch up. That's not love, that's contempt. From a Stoic perspective, this is the ultimate red flag. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." And here's what that means. You cannot control how she views you, but you can control how you respond. The weak response is to beg, to argue, to try to prove her wrong. The strong response, the Stoic response, is silence and exit. Because a man who knows his worth doesn't plead to be seen. Think about it. A woman who truly loves you would never weaponize your insecurities. She would never cut you down to lift herself up. She would never make you feel like you're not enough. That statement alone shows she's already gone in her mind. She's only waiting for you to crumble so she can justify leaving. And here's the truth. The moment you accept those words, you hand her the power to define your value. But your value doesn't live in her opinion. It lives in your discipline, your actions, your character, and the respect you have for yourself. So if she says, "I deserve better than you," don't argue, don't explain, don't fight. Simply understand she's right about one thing. She does deserve better, and so do you. Better than someone who would ever speak those words. If you agree that respect is non-negotiable in any relationship, hit like on this video and drop a comment. What's one boundary you'd never compromise on from love?
Conclusion. At the end of the day, these 12 phrases aren't just random words. They're red flags. Each one carries a deeper message about how she views you, the relationship, and ultimately herself. And as a Stoic man, your duty isn't to argue, beg, or prove yourself. Your duty is to recognize the truth, protect your peace, and walk away when respect is no longer present. Remember what Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." The same principle applies here. If her words are not right, if her actions are not true,
then she doesn't deserve your loyalty or your time. Love without respect is an illusion, and the longer you stay in a place where you're not valued, the further you drift away from your own strength. Walking away isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the choice of a man who knows his worth, who refuses to be diminished, and who understands that peace of mind is more valuable than toxic love. So let me ask you, which of these 12 things have you ever heard, and how did you respond? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs this message, and subscribe to the channel for more Stoic wisdom and powerful life lessons. Because at the end of the day, respect isn't optional. It's everything.